Here's an amazing question to test your knowledge of mechanical movement of objects. You're presented with the picture of person moving the object, and you need to determine if all objects weigh the same, which one will be easiest to move forward if the same person is pushing with equal force. You need to select one out of 4 possible choices. Choice A, person moving forward a cube. Choice B, person moving forward a hexagon. Choice C, person moving forward a ball. And last but not least is neither one. Take a close look to see if you can come up with the answer. On my end, I'm moving forward to share with you my version of the solution, and obviously if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. Let's analyze all shapes individually to better understand the answer. Let's start with the cube. Cube typically has a symmetrical weight distribution, which can contribute to its stability when moving on the ground. However, due to its edges and corners, a cube can experience higher levels of friction when compared to objects with rounded shapes and will be hard to roll. Most likely way of moving the cube forward would be pushing it, which will create a lot of resistance. Now let's look at the hexagon. Hexagon has 6 sides, and the shape can vary depending upon the specific dimensions and proportions. Compared to a cube, a hexagon generally has fewer edges and corners, which reduces the friction and makes it easier to move on the ground by rolling. Even though it might be easier to move than the cube, the ease of movement will also depend on the specific dimensions and weight distribution of the hexagon. Which brings us to choice C, sphere or ball, which typically has a smooth surface. The absence of edges and corners reduces the contact area with the ground, which results in a lower friction. This makes it easier to move the ball forward by rolling on the ground, compared to objects with edges or corners. This is why choice C is correct. It will have minimum friction and will facilitate smooth movement with minimum resistance. Let's look at the question where you need to determine the trajectory after parachutists jump from the plane. Obviously, based on the wind and other external conditions, there would be multiple choices, but fortunately, you need to select only one out of 4 possible choices. Choices A, B, and C. And if none of the choices A, B, and C is correct, you need to select choice D, which would represent neither one. Take a close look to see what is the parachutist's trajectory after jumping from the plane. I have full confidence in your skills and knowledge, so I'm moving forward to share with you my version of the answer. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. To better understand the answer, we need to determine what changes from when parachutist is inside the plane and when parachutist jumps from the plane. When parachutist is inside the plane, both the parachutist and the airplane are moving together in the same direction. When parachutist jumps from the plane, there are multiple forces that will determine the trajectory. Number 1 is inertia. According to Newton's first law of motion, the law of inertia, the parachutist will continue moving forward in the direction of the plane. Initially, the parachutist will have the velocity they had inside the plane, but they will slow down over time due to air resistance. Another force that will define the trajectory is the force of gravity. As soon as the parachutist leaves the plane, they will be subject to the force of gravity. Gravity pulls the parachutist downward toward the earth. And the last force that will drive the trajectory would be acceleration due to gravity. Acceleration due to gravity is the force that pulls objects toward the earth. When something is in the air, gravity causes it to fall toward the ground. The acceleration due to gravity is always the same for all objects near the Earth's surface, and it means that objects will fall faster and faster the longer they fall. So let's look closely at what's going to happen after parachutist jumps. After jumping, the parachutist initially maintains the horizontal velocity due to inertia. Once outside the airplane, they accelerate downward due to gravity until they reach terminal velocity. The deployment of the parachute increases air resistance, allowing for controlled descent, allowing parachutists to land safely. The closest answer that describes the solution is choice A. Is this what you got in your answer? If not, please make sure to post your solution and rationale in comments so we can all learn. Without a doubt, solving this problem is as tricky as trying to organize a chaos of rubber ducks in a bathtub. It's a quirky situation, but finding order is a real victory. I wonder though if this question is secretly evaluating our skills to bring order to a seemingly chaotic environment. We are entering the world of four squares, which have chaotically organized shapes inside. We're dealing with hollow circle, triangle, and smiley face. Four squares have shapes in place. You need to determine the value of the fifth square, which you need to select out of four possible choices. Choices A, B, C, and D. If your mind feels chaotic and a little bit disorganized, you are not alone. I feel exactly the same way. But that's okay. Whether you're a seasoned solver or a casual questions explorer, I have full faith in your problem-solving abilities. Give it the time it deserves, think out of the box, and watch the pieces fall into place. I have full confidence that you've got what it takes. Are you ready with your solution? Or at least excited to bring order into a chaotic environment? Let's tackle this puzzle together and explore the complexities and how to solve them. And don't forget to share your thoughts, ideas, and brilliance in comments. Your solution might be just the breakthrough we need. As you might have guessed, to solve this challenge, you need to identify the pattern. In fact, there are three patterns present in this problem. Pattern number one is that smiley face in the middle of the square alternates the backgrounds. Pattern number two is that hollow circle moves alternative directions with the incremental step for each subsequent move. And pattern number three is that triangle moves clockwise with double incremental steps. Let's look at the smiley face first, because that's the easiest pattern. We see that in the shape 1, smiley shape is dark gray, then it becomes white, then it's dark gray again, and in the shape 4, it's white again. So in shape 5, we can predict that it's going to be dark gray again. Unfortunately, it doesn't help us much because all choices A, B, C, and D, they have smiley face in a dark gray color. Let's look at the hollow circle. Hollow circle moves one step from 11 o'clock to 12 o'clock position with increment +1. In the next square, it moves two steps counterclockwise from 12 o'clock to 9 o'clock with increment +2. Then it moves three steps clockwise from 9 o'clock to 1 o'clock with increment +3. So we can predict that hollow shape in shape 5 will move four steps counterclockwise from 1 o'clock to 8 o'clock with the increment +4. It helped us narrow down the answer choices, but we still have choices A, C, and D that still match this pattern. So to solve this mystery and bring order into this disorderly situation, we need to look at the triangle. Triangle moves clockwise with the double increment. It's only positioned in the corners, and the increments are +1, where triangle moves from 1 o'clock to 5 o'clock. The next increment is +2, where triangle moves from 5 o'clock to 11 o'clock. Then +4, where triangle, in fact, stays back at 11 o'clock, because +4 means the full circle. And the next one would be +8. This is the final shape 5, where triangle will also be in the same spot. Based on this, we can conclude the correct answer is choice A. Hopefully you've nailed this question on your own and now know how to answer similar problems on the test. You know, we have the best minds in the world coming to this channel to solve problems. This is why I think it's so important to give you guys opportunity to shine. So this question is for you, but I gotta warn you, attempting to solve it feels like trying to light a match in the wind. Sometimes you get a spark, but most of the time you end up with the metaphoric blown out candle. You're presented with incorrect mathematical equation, which is built from the matchsticks, and you need to move one matchstick to fix this equation. The equation as it stands right now is 7 minus 4 equals 5, which is not mathematically correct. But as I mentioned, this one is for you. Give it a shot on your own. Once you've cracked it, drop your solution in comments. I am eager to hear your thoughts and positive feedback. Keep in mind that problems like this can have multiple solutions, so your solution might be very unique. Thanks for joining in, and good luck with this challenge. Let's face it, cracking this particular question is like teaching a giraffe to limber, a tall order but once you bend your mind around it, the success is a real stretch. This question might be secretly measuring our ability to handle mental acrobatics to deal with unusually looking shapes. Speaking about shapes, you're presented with 4 shapes, and 3 of them are very unusual, and you need to determine which shape has the longest perimeter. Your goal is to select the answer out of 4 possible choices. Choices A, B, C, and D. You feel like you stumbled upon a tough task? Well, you are not alone in this journey. I feel exactly the same way. But whether you're a problem-solving veteran or a newcomer, I believe in your capabilities. Take a moment to reflect, tap into your creativity, and let's tackle this challenge together. Your answer is just waiting to be discovered. Are you ready with your solution? If you need a little help, gear up for the explanation. Together, we will unravel the complexities of this question. I will ask you for a favor though, and specifically to share your thought process in comments. Your insights might hold the key for all of us to learn and improve. To solve this challenge, let's look at some important considerations. You might have noticed that all shapes here consist of the same square building block. But because shapes are so dramatically different, perimeter of the shape can be calculated in 2 different ways. The first way is to calculate the total length of the boundaries. The example here might be shape C. And the second way to calculate the perimeter might be sum of length of all of the sides. An example of this shape might be square, which is represented by shape A. Because the squares are all the same, we can assume that we can use square as 1 unit in the calculation. For example, the rightmost side in the shape C could be calculated as 4 units, and the rightmost side in the square would consist of 3 units. To calculate the perimeter of shape A, we need to sum up both of its sides and multiply it by 2. 3 plus 3 in parentheses multiplied by 2 equals 12. Perimeter of shape A can be measured as 12 units. Now let's look at shape B. Here we need to manually count the boundary squares. Let's do it together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 19, and 20. So perimeter for shape B consists of 20 units. Same thing is for shape C. Please verify my math, and if I made a mistake, post it in comments. But shape D is different. Let's do the math. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 20, 21, and 22. Which means that the shape's D perimeter is the longest with 22 units. So the correct answer here is choice D. Here's an absolutely brilliant and at the same time very tricky question, but I have full confidence that you'll be able to solve it. You need to determine which item is the heaviest. And you're presented with 4 possible choices. Choice A, 2 pounds of iron. Choice B, 2 pounds of cotton. Choice C, 2 pounds of potatoes. And last but not least, choice D, neither one. Take a close look to see if you can come up with the answer. I am pretty sure you already have an answer by now, so I'm moving forward to share with you my version of the solution. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. As you might have figured out, all 3 objects, 2 pounds of iron, 2 pounds of potatoes, and 2 pounds of cotton, will have the same weight. The explanation for this is that the weight of an object is determined by the force of gravity acting on it, and this force is proportional to the mass of the object. Since all 3 objects have a mass of 2 pounds, they will experience the same gravitational force and therefore will have the same weight. But the confusion here is that the density of these objects is different. Density is a measure of how much mass is packed into a given volume. Iron is much denser than potatoes or cotton. This is why, if you have to compare the volume occupied by each object, the iron will take up less space than the potatoes or the cotton. Presented images are very misleading and were designed to confuse you. So the correct answer here is choice D, neither object, since neither object is the heaviest. I love this question because it really boosts your IQ and improves your intelligence. You're presented with 3 rows of objects. Each object represents a square and circle inside. You need to select the missing object out of 4 possible choices. Choices A, B, C, and D. Take a close look to see if you can come up with the solution. I have full confidence that you figured it out by now. And this is why I'm moving forward to share with you my version of the answer. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. To better solve this challenge, let's assign columns and rows to each object here in the picture. We will have columns A, B, and C, and rows 1, 2, and 3. This would allow us to reference objects better. As you might have guessed, each row describes the pattern of ball bouncing against the wall. Let's start by looking at the object A1. This is where the ball in the upper left corner, and it moves downwards toward the middle of the bottom section. And this is where exactly we see the ball in the object B1. After that, ball bounces and moves upward, and this is how we see it in C1. When ball bounces against the wall, it travels in the direction based on the angle of the initial impact. After the initial impact, the ball will continue moving in the new direction until acted upon by another force, such as hitting another wall or an object. Let's confirm this pattern by looking at the row 2. In the object A2, we see the ball against the left wall. Then it moves toward the bottom wall, and then bounces against the bottom wall, and then moves toward the right wall. Knowing the pattern, we can easily detect the answer now. If you look closely at the picture, the ball in the row 3 moves from the position 1 to the position 2, and then to the position 3. So the correct answer here is choice C. Did you get to the same answer? Or maybe you know the tips how to solve these problems better. Please make sure to post and share them in comments so we can all learn. This particular question is waiting for your individual touch to get solved, and I have full confidence that you can do it. You're presented with the fancy-looking mechanism, and you need to determine the direction of the last gear. Your choices for the answers are choice A, CW, choice B, CCW, choice C, no movement, and last but not least, choice D, depends on X. Crack this challenge on your own and then share your solution in comments. I'm looking forward to discussing your answer and providing some feedback. I'm gonna give you a hint though. Do you know what CW stands for? Think of clockwise, and then CCW would be counterclockwise. Thanks for getting involved, and good luck solving this intriguing challenge. Here's the challenging problem by solving which you will boost your cognitive abilities. You're presented with 5 hints, and using these hints, you need to unlock the code and open the lock. The hints are: in the digits 248, only 1 digit is correct and well placed. In the digits 845, 2 digits are correct but not correctly placed. In the digits 461, only 1 digit is correct and it is correctly placed. In the digits 592, only 1 digit is correct and it is well placed. And last but not least, hint that in the digits 904, none of the digits are correct. To open the lock, you need to process all the hints and select 1 out of 4 possible choices. Choice A, 518. Choice B, 485. Choice C, 418. And last but not least, choice D, 568. Take a close look to see if you can come up with the answer. I'm pretty sure you're done solving it by now, so I'm moving forward to share with you my version of the answer and solution. And if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. As you might have guessed, you solve this problem through elimination. And I'm going to start with the hint number 5, because it's the most helpful of all. Once we've learned that in combination 904 none of the digits are correct, we can eliminate 2 possible answers. We can eliminate both choices B and C, because both of them have digit 4, which is an incorrect digit. Let's continue elimination to get to the correct answer. If we look through the remaining 4 hints, we learn that in hint 1, where digits are 248, only 1 digit is correctly placed, which is digit 8. In hint 2, 2 digits are correct, but they are not correctly placed, and they are digits 8 and 5. In hint 3, only 1 digit 6 is correct, and it is correctly placed. And last but not least, in hint 4, digit 5 is correct, and it is well placed. Based on this, the correct answer here is choice D, 568. Do you have any hints to show how to best solve these types of challenges? If you do, please make sure to post them in comments. I love this question because it truly tests your knowledge of mechanical engineering. You're presented with acrobat and the weight on a seesaw. You need to determine in which direction should the acrobat move his body to balance the seesaw. And you only have two choices. Choice A to the left or choice B to the right. Take a close look to see if you can come up with the answer. On my end, I am moving forward to share with you my version of the answer. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. As you might be well aware, the seesaw is an example of a lever, where fulcrum is between the effort and the load. In our example, we have a weight on the left side of the seesaw and acrobat on the right side of the seesaw. The key principle of balancing the seesaw is when a force is applied to the end of the lever can lift the weight at the other end. For the seesaw to be balanced, the torque applied to the acrobat must increase. Since the acrobat's weight is constant, the only way to increase the input torque is by increasing the distance from the fulcrum. If acrobat moves in the direction B, this will shift the acrobat's center of gravity further from the fulcrum, resulting in a greater torque, thereby balancing it. So the correct answer here is choice B, moving the acrobat to the right. Here's an amazing problem where you need to exercise your brain and cognitive skills by calculating not just one number, but two numbers. You're presented with the scale, and you see that the value of diamond as well as the sum values are missing. And you need to ensure that scale remains balanced by calculating the value of the diamond as well as the sum. And once you've done with your calculations, you need to select out of 4 possible choices. Choice A, values 18 and 96. Choice B, values 12 and 88. Choice C, values 20 and 92. And last but not least, choice D, values 19 and 94. Take a close look, maybe pause this video to see if you can complete the calculations. On my end, I am moving forward to share with you my version of the calculations. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. To solve this challenge, let's look at the picture closely to better understand what we're dealing with. We're presented with the multi-tier scale, and this scale has 4 tiers: Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3, and Tier 4. Scale remains in balance because values on the left side and on the right side are equal, and the values are represented by the total of numbers inside of each shape. For example, circle has number 12, hexagon has number 6, triangle has number 3, and square has number 4. Let's look closely at Tier 3 to better understand how this tier remains in balance. As I already mentioned, each tier remains in balance because the numbers are equal on both sides. So on the left of the Tier 3, we have 2 hexagons with total value of 12. On the right of the Tier 3, we have hexagon, which equals number 6, plus 2 triangles, 3 plus 3. So on both sides, the total value is 12. This is why Tier 3 remains in balance. Now let's look closely at the Tier 2. On the left of the Tier 2, we have 2 circles. Each circle has a value of 12. 2 circles would be equal 24. On the left of the Tier 2, we have 2 circles with total value of 24, and the entire Tier 3, which also equals 24. This what keeps Tier 2 in balance. Now, knowing this logic, we can calculate the missing value on Tier 4. Because Tier 4 needs to remain in balance, the value of 12 plus 6 should be equal to the missing value, which means that the missing value is 18. And the total sum will be calculated as the sum of all the numbers. The sum of Tier 2 and Tier 3 would be 24 plus 24 plus 48 on the right side of Tier 1, which would equal 96. So the correct answer here is choice A, 18 and 96. Did you get to the different answer? Please make sure to post your answer and solution in comments. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate you for helping us to become one of the largest YouTube channels to help people become smarter, increase your IQ, and to pass any test. If the content of this video was helpful, please make sure to click the like button to help YouTube algorithm promote this video and help other people to find it faster. Giving us a like is also a way for you to tell us that you need more content like this, and when you tell us, we will deliver it for you in the future. For links to free and premium resources, please check the description and comments of this video. You can also go directly to our website, howtoanalyzedata.net, to download the materials related to this topic. I really appreciate your endorsement, support, and patronage of this channel. And thank you for considering to become a member and considering to subscribe. Please leave feedback, suggestions, or corrections in comments. And all the best on your journey. I'll see you in my next video.